Let's start with a thought experiment. Imagine for a moment everything you own, every item big or small, from your favorite mug to your phone, your clothes, your furniture, even the things tucked away in forgotten drawers. Now, multiply that by everyone in your city, then by everyone in your country, and finally by every single person on Earth. The scale is almost impossible to grasp. The result? A staggering mountain of stuff, and an even bigger mountain of waste. Every product we buy, use, and eventually throw away adds to this ever-growing pile. Every year, humanity generates over 2 billion tons of municipal solid waste, enough garbage trucks to circle the Earth 24 times. That's a convoy of trash stretching around the planet year after year. This isn't just an eyesore, it's a symptom of a broken system. Our waste doesn't just disappear, it seeps into our soil, our water, and even the air we breathe. Our linear take-make-waste economy is pushing the planet to its limits, consuming resources as if we had 1.75 Earths. We extract, produce, and discard at a pace nature simply can't keep up with. We're told that buying more will make us happier, but the true cost is visible in polluted oceans, a changing climate, and depleted ecosystems. The evidence is all around us. Rivers choked with plastic, air thick with smog, and wildlife struggling to survive. The average person in a wealthy country now consumes far more than previous generations, surrounded by gadgets, clothes, and conveniences. But are we any happier or healthier for it? Or are we just filling our lives with more things while feeling less fulfilled? The answer is clear. This cycle of overconsumption benefits a few, but costs us all. The gap between those who profit and those who pay the price, often the most vulnerable, continues to widen. The good news? We can change the story. Around the world, people are rethinking what we buy, how we use it, and what we throw away. By understanding how we got here, we can start building a future that's sustainable, equitable, and fulfilling. Solutions exist, and together, we can make them a reality. It's time to look behind our stuff and demand something better. Our choices matter, and change begins with awareness. The story of our things is really the story of us, of our values, our hopes, and the world we want to create for future generations. How did we become global superconsumers? The shift began after World War II, when economies were rebuilt around mass consumption. Factories switched from tanks to toasters, and governments encouraged us to buy. Population boomed, from 2.5 billion in 1950 to over 8 billion today, fueling demand for goods. Industrialization made products cheaper and more accessible, promising a better life. But advertising changed the game, selling not just products but lifestyles and status. Planned obsolescence and relentless marketing kept us chasing the latest trends. The economy became addicted to endless growth measured by GDP, regardless of the cost to people or planet. This system was built for infinite growth on a finite planet, a contradiction we can no longer ignore. Now the consequences of this 70-year shopping spree are impossible to overlook. It's time to rethink what progress really means. Every product has a hidden life story. It starts with extraction, mining, logging, drilling, often destroying ecosystems and communities. Raw materials travel to factories where they're processed with massive energy and water, creating pollution. Then comes packaging and global shipping, adding to the carbon footprint. We buy, use, and quickly discard thanks to marketing and planned obsolescence. Most of our stuff ends up in landfills, incinerators, or the environment, leaching toxins and polluting air, water, and soil. Recycling? It's not the magic bullet we hoped for. Only about 9% of plastic ever gets recycled. Many materials aren't designed for recycling, and the system is overwhelmed. We can't recycle our way out of overproduction and overconsumption. The real solution? Focus on reducing and reusing, not just recycling. Our throwaway culture is costing us more than we realize. It's time to rewrite the story of our stuff. Let's talk about plastic. A material designed to last forever, yet we use it for things we toss away in just minutes. It's everywhere in our daily lives, from packaging and bottles to bags and straws. But what happens after we throw it away? Since the 1950s, we've produced over 8.3 billion metric tons of plastic. That's more than the weight of every human on Earth combined, many times over. Most of it is now waste, piling up in landfills and dumps with no end in sight. Plastic pollution is everywhere, clogging our oceans, rivers, and lakes, littering beaches and forests, and even showing up in the most remote corners of the planet. It's in the air we breathe and the food we eat, making it impossible to ignore. Microplastics, tiny fragments that break off from larger pieces, are now found from the deepest ocean trenches to the highest mountain peaks. They harm wildlife, disrupt ecosystems, and are even entering our own bodies through water, food, and air. Toxic chemicals in plastics leach into ecosystems, contaminating water and food chains. These chemicals can accumulate in fish and other animals, eventually making their way back to us, with unknown long-term health effects. Recycling can't keep up. Most plastics are downcycled into lower quality products, incinerated, or simply landfilled. Only a tiny fraction is truly recycled, and the rest continues to build up year after year. The real crisis isn't just the visible waste, but the permanent contamination of our environment. Plastics break down into smaller and smaller pieces, but they never truly disappear. We can't solve this by just managing waste better. We have to turn off the tap and reduce how much plastic we produce and use in the first place. Prevention is the only real solution. It's time to demand less single-use plastic, support alternatives, and rethink our relationship with this material. Every choice we make can help shift the system. The plastic problem is a global emergency, affecting people and ecosystems everywhere, regardless of borders or backgrounds. We need bold action, not just better bins. It's time for governments, businesses, and individuals to step up and make real change before this problem gets even worse. Our digital lives create a hidden mountain of e-waste, a problem that's growing every year as our appetite for the latest gadgets never seems to slow down. Every year we generate over 50 million tons of electronic waste. Imagine about 1,000 laptops being thrown away every single second, all around the world. That's enough to fill countless football fields with discarded devices, from smartphones to TVs. E-waste is toxic, loaded with dangerous substances like lead, mercury, cadmium, and flame retardants. These chemicals don't just disappear, they linger in our environment, seeping into soil and water. When dumped or burned, these toxins poison the air we breathe and the water we drink, devastating communities, especially in developing countries where much of our e-waste is shipped and dumped, often illegally. Informal workers, including children, are forced to dismantle devices without any protection, risking their health and future for a few scraps of valuable metal. They're exposed daily to hazardous dust and fumes. Most electronics today aren't designed for repair or recycling. They're glued shut, sealed tight, and built to be replaced, not fixed. This makes it nearly impossible to recover valuable materials safely. Companies could choose to make modular, repairable products that last longer and create less waste. But for many, profit and planned obsolescence come first, locking us into a cycle of constant upgrades. We need strong laws that hold manufacturers responsible for their product's entire life cycle. This is called extended producer responsibility. It's about making companies clean up after themselves. The digital revolution shouldn't come at the cost of human health and the environment. No one should have to suffer so we can have the latest tech. It's time to demand better design, real accountability, and a future where technology and sustainability go hand in hand. Our gadgets shouldn't create a toxic legacy for generations to come. We have the power to change this story. Let's make tech truly sustainable by choosing smarter, demanding more, and protecting our planet for the future. Our consumption habits are fueling climate change and environmental destruction. The full life cycle of our stuff, from extraction to disposal, relies on fossil fuels and emits massive greenhouse gases. Over 60% of global emissions come from producing goods for household consumption. Our demand for resources drives deforestation, habitat loss, and biodiversity collapse. Rivers and oceans are polluted by industrial runoff, creating dead zones where life can't survive. We're depleting finite resources, fossil fuels, minerals, fresh water, at unsustainable rates. Scarcity will drive up costs and create new conflicts. Our linear economy is wasteful and unstable, creating environmental debt we can't afford. We're borrowing from the future to fuel today's consumption. The true cost of our habits is coming due. It's time to build a smarter, circular system. The cost of overconsumption isn't just environmental, it's deeply human. Vulnerable communities pay the highest price, from miners in dangerous conditions to workers in toxic waste dumps. Our waste is often shipped to poorer countries, creating sacrifice zones of pollution and disease. Even in wealthy nations, chemicals in consumer goods and pollution from factories harm public health, especially in marginalized communities. The pressure to consume fuels anxiety, debt, and dissatisfaction without making us happier. Studies show more stuff doesn't equal more happiness. In fact, it often leads to less. The system is making us sick, physically, mentally, and socially. We need a new definition of well-being. The problem is huge, but we're not powerless. Change starts with rethinking our relationship with stuff. Buy less, buy better, repair, reuse, and share. But individual action isn't enough. We must demand change from corporations and governments. Support businesses that prioritize sustainability and fair labor. Organize, campaign, and use your voice to push for policies like bans on single-use plastics and extended producer responsibility. Vote for leaders who take the crisis seriously. Build community, create sharing libraries, repair cafes, and advocate for better waste management. This isn't about guilt, it's about collective action for a better system. Together, we can shift from mindless consumption to conscious connection. The power for change is in our hands. The story of our stuff doesn't have to end in a mountain of waste. We're at a crossroads. One path leads to crisis, the other to a sustainable, just, and resilient future. Imagine a circular economy. Products designed to last, be repaired, and recycled. Waste becomes a resource, and new jobs are created in repair and remanufacturing. This isn't about deprivation, it's about redefining a good life. True wealth is found in healthy communities, a thriving planet, and meaningful connections. We can be active citizens, not just passive consumers. Every action, no matter how small, helps build a better world. By demanding better from companies and governments and changing how we live, we can turn the tide. The crisis of consumption is a story we can rewrite. Let's choose a better ending, together.